this firm, they have this amazing cafe. And at this cafe, there sits atop the kitchen sink a coffee machine. And it's a special coffee machine. They serve different kinds of flavors like mochachinos, cafe mochas, hot chocolate, Mexican brews. And you can choose the level of sugar, how much cream or how much milk you want in it. And I remember on the first day, during orientation, I was being shown around the different departments and meeting so many different new people. And I was really overwhelmed. But one thing that remained in my mind was I need to try that coffee machine. So why was I so interested in it? Because it was just free. That was the only reason. It's just because it was free. So I was like, I'm going to maximize the usage of that coffee machine. I'm going to go back as many times as I could. And that was the main selling point for me. That was good enough. And I don't even react well with coffee. When I have too much, my eyes tend to twitch, and it's not really a pretty sight. But hey, it was free, so I came back anyway. So why am I talking about coffee? Do I just not have an introduction for this talk? We can take a step back and transition to something more career development related. Something that screams TEDx. Compassionate leadership. So, over my years in high school, and I'm not done yet, I'm an incoming grade 12 student. Over these few years, I've had the opportunity to meet and learn from so many different leaders. Some of these people, friends of mine, they went on to go to Harvard. Some of them got involved in politics. Some of these other people, they built up initiatives out of their own ambition and dreams, and they gathered youth together for a cause and to make a change. And some of these other people, they serve each other with a smile. And it was those kinds of people that really stuck with me. It really struck a chord within me. They were really bright individuals, really amazing, very talented, and most of all, they really empowered and inspired others to do the same. They were charismatic, really good speakers, extremely talented, brilliant. But most of all, they were the nicest, most down-to-earth people you'll ever meet. And they're also very interesting too, because they were involved in and out of school, they were in debate, Model UN, robotics. Some of them were actually in national sports teams like fencing. Some of them would love to sail in their free time, many different interests. And they didn't stick to one skill, they expanded their skill set, I guess you could say. They made sure to hone many of their talents and try to become the best kind of people they could be. Now, one thing all these individuals had in common was their love of connecting with other people. And that's what compassionate leadership is all about. As I ventured out into the community, I began to lead a couple of shoreline cleanups, organized virtual choirs, or even competed in business competitions. I learned that the key to being a good leader, or even just being a really good teammate, was learning how to appreciate the people around you. Because everyone has a story to tell. Everyone has had their own experiences. They've overcome their own sufferings and difficulties. And it is because of that we have to respect everybody and give everyone a chance. We always have to give them benefit of the doubt. We have to open ourselves to them and forge a connection so that there's room for collaboration. And that also ties into compassionate leadership, because collaboration is something needed in order for wonderful things to happen, wonderful projects, wonderful ideas to develop and happen. Take, for example, the pyramids in Egypt. Those things were definitely not made in a day and not made by one person. They were made by a team of people working together for one purpose. to honor the body of their pharaoh. So, yeah, they would work together, they would collaborate with each other, they would forge connections with each other to work on a goal. Even if it was just hauling bricks up that magnificent, landmark, which actually became the tallest landmark for thousands of years until, of course, man and concrete made skyscrapers. But the point is, humanity is built on a foundation of collaboration, and that's why forming connections, deep connections between other people is really important. So let's take a step back. This is really deep. We can take a coffee break, unintended. So yeah, I'm back with the coffee. Okay. So how does this tie everything together? Well, whenever I take my break or we go out for lunch, I'd make sure to visit that cafe at the office. I would make a beeline for that machine. I would go to the cabinet, grab a mug, and line up in the general area of the machine. And I once actually met two ladies who were waiting in line to brew their coffee. They struck up a conversation with me and started talking about which departments they were in. And that was actually how I met a lot of the people in the firm. They were all there for the free coffee. And it was really wonderful because I learned a lot about what their lifestyles were like, what departments they were in, like litigation, whether they were in office services, or even legal counsels, judges, lawyers. And it was really interesting to hear about their backgrounds and personal life because, like I said, it's really important to develop that connection between your peers and the people you work with. Because only then can you maximize your potential for excellent teamwork, therefore yielding excellent results. So, yeah, it is about that coffee machine, that magical coffee machine was what brought us all together. It was what unified us. It was the only reason I was able to connect with these people, despite our differences, even if we worked in different departments. It was a wonderful opportunity to get to know these people. It was what brought us all together. And like that free coffee, kindness, compassion, all of those things needed for relationships to develop, all of those things, it's free. It's always been free. It'll always be free. And we need those values in us to be able to forge those connections with other people and be able to look at people inside because it's always been about the people. It is the people that we meet that drive us to do better. It is the people that we meet that allow us to escape that small pond that we're currently living in and look bigger. It is the people that we meet that allow us to swim into that open sea of endless possibilities set in store for us. It is for people like you or me that we need to connect with each other in order to collaborate and be able to create wonderful things. Just like that coffee, kindness and compassion and empathy, it's all free. And that opportunity to reach out and connect with other people, it's always been there too. We just have to be bold enough to take that first step.